Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Dare to Soar. My name is Laura Beth Richardson, and I'm the Intermediate Dean at Pinnacle Classical Academy's 412 campus. With me today, I have Ms. Kendra McGinnis, who is our Elementary Dean. Welcome, I'm glad you're with me again.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. So we've had a very busy, I feel like since school started, everything's been busy, but especially last month. I think the biggest event last month at your campus was our Fall Festival.
Absolutely.
And a huge shout out to Peak because, guys, Peak just does amazing work with our teachers, with our students, and just with the school in general. So for those of you that may not be as familiar, Peak stands for Parents Encouraging Academic Knowledge. So that is our group of parents that support our school and our teachers so well, and they put a lot of time and effort into this Fall Festival, and it was a huge hit. So there was trunk or treat, the costumes were adorable, all the games that were laid out. I mean, it couldn't have been any more fun.
All the kids had a great time.
They did, and they loved that time on campus. You know, we're used to seeing them in their uniforms, and so seeing them after school with their families, and they got to bring some of their younger siblings, so future Eagles. So thank you to Peak for all that they do. We are very spoiled by Peak, so we appreciate them so much. So speaking of other events at K3, you recently hosted some families there for something in the morning. My favorite things when it comes to pastries and donuts. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we hosted an event called Pastries with Parents for our kindergarten students, and I want to take a minute to just tell you about it and really elaborate on the wonderful time that the students and the parents both had. So the smell of chocolate-covered donuts filled the air. Warm laughter echoed through the hallways as our kindergarten Pastries with Parents morning turned into a heartwarming success. We had it in the K3 gym. The event really brought together young learners, proud parents, and several dedicated staff members for a special time of connection. The tables obviously were covered with red tablecloths. It set a very cheerful and welcoming tone. The parents and the children shared a variety of pastries, and the smiles on their faces really said it all. There's nothing quite like starting your day with sweet treats and a loved one by your side.
Well, I don't know about everybody else at home and how things go at your houses, but I know some mornings we are just running out the door with maybe a waffle, I don't know, something in our hand. And so I remember when my son was at K3 and you did the Pastries with Parents, and it was so nice to walk in with him, and we went through, and I love donuts. He loves donuts. But we actually sat down and had breakfast together, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it as a parent, but it's nice to see the families coming in and having that time with their child. So this was only for kindergarten, right? Okay, so there will be a Pastries with Parents for first, second, and third grade, maybe?
So we did that in the past, but we have since just started doing only kindergarten Pastries with Parents.
Well, based on what I heard in those photos, there was a huge turnout.
There was a huge turnout.
Lots of families there. So I'm sure that kindergarten group just knocked it out of the park. So y'all are set for a while, right?
Well, it's always fun to see them come out pretty much covered in head to toe with chocolate.
Right, absolutely. And that's just part of the fun, you know?
It is.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of fun, and I'm sorry to say, I don't think this is maybe as cute as Pastries with Parents in K3 land. However, our sixth graders were doing something very interesting lately. So in the lab, they have been learning about waves, like light waves, and how our eyes process those waves. And so, guys, you can see with these photos, they are dissecting. I don't know if you want to guess what that may be. Miss McGinnis has something to do with eyes.
Is that an eyeball?
It is. It is a cow eye, which is, you know, not my most favorite thing ever. No. However, the kids loved it.
I'm sure.
They loved it. So this was kind of that big culminating activity for that light wave unit. And so they were able to see the different structures of the eye. They were able to discuss the similarities and differences between these cow eyes and human eyes and just compare those differences and similarities there. And one thing that I think is so funny over the summer is when we start putting in orders for these things. And so we always kind of say, you know, if there's a box coming in for the science labs, just beware, because when you open it, you're not quite sure what might be in there. But our kids got to use these today. I mean, not today, but prior to today. And just seeing them come out of that classroom after they got to do all of this, and some students that I thought were going to be a little more reserved, a little more standoffish, they were the ones getting started right away. It was so much fun. And I don't know about you, but I remember when I was in school, I don't think I did a lab like that until around high school. So I think it's really neat that our 6th graders, who are our youngest kiddos in middle school, on the middle school hall, they are diving right into this stuff, and they're loving every minute of it.
I'm sure this is a unit that they will never forget.
Yes, this is often the kind of thing you kind of hear about when they give their graduation speeches. You know, these are the things that stick with them. So lots of fun. Lots more pictures to come on our next episode about more labs that we're doing. Also, I know lots of field trips have been happening. So folks, if you tune in to our next episode, we're going to have a lot more photos about some places our students are going, things they're learning about. And you know, a lot of our field trips, because we're college preparatory, we really work on making some pit stops at local colleges, depending on where they're going. So not only do our kids get to enjoy a field trip based on curriculum, but then they're also taking college tours and things like that. So kind of
awesome.
Yeah, giving them a look into, you know, maybe this is somewhere I would be interested in going. So, you know, lots of fun things happening. So that is all for today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for our next segment of Dare to Soar.
Washington Outreach Ministries is one of the largest emergency food pantry in Cleveland County. We feed about 15,000 people a month. We have bi-weekly distribution every other Friday, and we serve them with all type of product, not just food product, but all type of necessities. Anything that they need, we have here and we can supply it. Food is available every day, but we offer bi-weekly distribution so the mass of Cleveland County can come through and enjoy some of the food products that we have here. And one of the main things that we need that sometimes people don't like to talk about is funding. We do fundraisers. We appreciate donations. Anybody that want to donate time and money, they're welcome.
Good morning. How you doing? Here we go.
Cleveland Community College has identified strengthening online learning as the topic for its quality enhancement plan. We're calling it SOAR. SOAR's 5-year implementation plan is focused on continuous improvement of online courses and promoting student success. We're excited for you to take this journey with us.
Welcome back to Dare to Soar. I'm Jeff Ziegler, Dean of Academics. In his Ethics, Aristotle wrote with depth and wisdom about the connection between character reason, and happiness. Other thinkers inspired by him, such as Thomas Jefferson and other thinkers of the 18th century, wrote about the rational pursuit of happiness. Parents want their children to be happy, and Pinnacle Classical Academy wants its graduates to live happy, fulfilling lives. From a basis of rational values, people think effectively for a satisfying and productive life. Early in the formation of the school, Pinnacle Classical Academy's Board of Directors adopted a values statement that highlights the connection between character, reason, and happiness. PCA's values statement is inspired by the values statement written by John A. Allison IV for BB&T, the company of which he was then CEO and our own first graduation speaker back in 2020. At Pinnacle Classical Academy, 10 core values represent our overarching beliefs about character. These values provide the context for how we make decisions and operate our school, as well as the values we intend to instill in our students. At Pinnacle, our values help us to achieve our mission and purpose, and consequently, they help our students to identify and achieve their own purposes. These 10 values are consistent with one another and integrated into a sound framework of staff and student character, judgment, success, and happiness. Our focus on values grows from our belief that ideas matter and that an individual's character is of crucial significance. Our values are integrated into not only how we operate, but also into what we teach. Under the heading of character are two values, honesty and integrity. Under the heading of judgment are three values, reality, reason, and independent thinking. Under the heading of success are three values, productivity, teamwork, and justice. And under the heading of happiness are two values, esteem or self-motivation, and pride in the sense of taking legitimate pride in one's success. To make these 10 values of our school relevant to our students, we are so fortunate that T.K. Coleman recorded 3-minute videos on each of our 10 values that we show one by one each month over the course of the year to our middle school and high school students. Mr. Coleman is currently co-host of The Minimalists, one of the top podcasts in the nation and in the world. Thank you, and now to Mrs. Dellinger.
Thank you, Mr. Ziegler. I couldn't agree more. Our students truly live out these values every single day at Pinnacle Classical Academy. We see them demonstrated not only in what we teach, but in how our students learn, lead, and engage with our community. Throughout October, our high school students had several incredible opportunities that reflect exactly what Mr. Ziegler described, the connection between character, reason, and happiness. In October, our juniors and seniors welcomed Dr. Tony Williams from the Bill of Rights Institute. His presentation focused on the writing of the Declaration of Independence and the Founding Fathers and the ideas that shaped our nation. What made this visit especially meaningful was how engaged our students were. They asked thoughtful, well-reasoned questions about how education influences the political landscape today. You could see their curiosity and sense of civic responsibility come alive. That's the value of reason and independent thinking in action. Our seniors also participated in College Application Day, an event that reflects so many of Pinnacle's core values, from productivity and teamwork to honesty, integrity, and pride. Students worked one-on-one with local business leaders and college admission representatives to practice their interview skills, polish their essays, and complete their FAFSA forms. They received feedback, encouragement, and guidance, but mostly important, they took ownership of their future. A powerful example of what happens when our students apply reason and perseverance to real-world goals. We also had the privilege of welcoming visitors from Drexel High School who spent time observing classroom across multiple grade levels. Our students were excited to showcase their learning, and they did so with excellence, engagement, and genuine enthusiasm. It was a wonderful moment of esteem. Our students taking pride in their work and in the way Pinnacle Classical Academy approaches classical education. Our visitors left with a deep appreciation for how our students think, communicate, and carry themselves. What I find most inspiring is that these moments aren't just isolated events. They're a reflection of our daily life here at Pinnacle. Whether in the classroom, during a Socratic discussion, working collaboratively on a lab project, or supporting one another in group presentations, our students show that learning here is about much more than academics. It is about character. It's about purpose. And it's about building the confidence and judgment to contribute meaningfully to the world around them. These same values carry over into our extracurricular programs, especially athletics. Our student athletes represent the perfect balance of intellect, discipline, and teamwork. They compete with determination, but they also lead in the classroom. Their commitment to excellence, both academically and athletically, is something we are incredibly proud of. To share more about our athletic programs, let's continue with our athletic department.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 13th through 23rd at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Experience Santa's workshop, brimming with timeless childhood delights, twinkling lights, and festive cheer. Buy tickets early and save at southernchristmasshow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Take two. Now keep going. I don't know. Have one question.
Yes.
Are those crabs on your shirt?
They are.
I just noticed that a couple of minutes ago.
I was preparing.
I've been mesmerized ever since.
Exactly. What the heck? What the,
Tim, you all right back there?
She gets into a soul cycle accident.
A soul cycle
Yes.
accident. Yeah.
What?
Soul cycle.
It's like an exercise class where they're all
Oh, no wonder I don't know what you're talking about.
Welcome back to this month's episode of Dare to Soar. My name is Brendan Gosey. I'm the athletic director at Pinnacle Classical Academy, and I'm joined again this month by our new special co-host, Miss Katie Barnes, who is our student success coordinator at the 412 campus and is also our head swim coach for both our middle school boys and girls and our varsity boys and girls. Welcome, Coach Barnes. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm ready to get the show rolling.
So we've had a lot going on the last few months. Mainly we are in the process of wrapping up some of our fall sports, starting with our cross-country team. And Coach Barnes, if you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
Absolutely. So here we have, our varsity girls cross-country team for the WPAC conference. They placed first runner-up, so second place overall, which is amazing. These girls have just ran their hearts out, honestly. And all these smiles can just show all the teamwork and the energy that went into this. Lots of quality runners right there. So I know they were thrilled with their place and, under the leadership of Coach Brooks and Coach Horton, they've just done a great job this season. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, and so in like the last, I think 5 years, they've won or placed first runner-up in 3 out of the overall conference championship. So great job to them. Out of 11 schools for our conference, WPAC, that's pretty awesome. We have another photo here from our varsity boys, not to be outdone by the girls, but they also finished second, first runner-up in the conference championship. And so you can see all them, matching those same smiles with the girls. Of course, they would have loved to have brought home the championship title, but to still finish second place out of all the schools competing is just a great accomplishment for those young men. And again, the same coaches there, Coach Horton and Coach Brooks, they've been with that program for several years now, and we couldn't be prouder of all of their accomplishments. And so just a great job to them.
Oh yeah, great group of kids for sure. Another exciting element to our cross-country team, we have Miss Naomi Brackeen. She was one of our top 5 finishes with the WPAC conference tournament, and here she is being recognized. She is precious, and several of these runners, in addition to Naomi, I had the pleasure of teaching way back in 4th grade, so I've known them a long time, and she was so well deserving of this finish here. So that was exciting.
to make all conference, or our conference, like you said, they have to finish in the top 5 of all the females competing.
Yes.
So not only did they finish second in the conference, but to have an all-conference team member from Pinnacle is great. So congratulations to Naomi and to her parents. We also had a couple of all-conference finishers for our varsity men. We got a picture here for you, Mr. Nathan Nagino and then Mr. Wheeler Stewart. Both of those young men also finished in the top 5 with the varsity men's race.
Yes.
And so kudos to them. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nathan actually finished second in the entire race. So he really had a successful year, and so did obviously Wheeler too, with that nice medal around their neck. So we're proud of them. We're proud of both our men and women teams, and so congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
So we also want to talk a little bit about some exciting news that's taken place with athletics, but mainly focusing on our middle school sports. I know Ms. Richardson was here, and so we might be still in middle school's thunder a little bit, but we have just recently joined a new conference for middle school sports, and you can see here in the picture, Carolina Beltway Conference. And so we're really excited about that because, as you know, Ms. Barnes, being a middle school coach as well as a varsity coach, for the last couple of years as we've been trying to grow our middle school program, they've not really had a conference to compete in. So what are you hearing from the students and your teams about finally being able to compete?
Yes.
And build some rivalries and not just be maybe kind of like everybody's pickup game.
Absolutely. So for me, you know, our middle school group of swimmers this season, we have about 6 to 8 middle school swimmers, and when this news came out, they were thrilled, and their parents were thrilled. They said, "Coach, does this mean that we can, you know, go to a conference championship if we make it that far?" And that reality is unusual for them just because they've not had this opportunity until now. And so lots of questions, lots of excitement, and you know, I hear them on the pool deck too, just talking with each other. Man, I can't wait to just see what the possibilities are, what our competition looks like. So it's awesome, and I've got high hopes for all of our middle school athletes in this
swim season
conference.
You know, in the past, you know, like I say, we've just been luckily enough to have games and meets and things that we could attend to. So to be able to actually have a title to fight for and compete for is going to be awesome. I think, if I'm not mistaken, cheer also will have the opportunity to compete, and some of our other sports. So as we grow, that's great news for Pinnacle, and so we look forward to that. And I think the conference is mainly made up of a lot of charter schools.
I believe so.
Which is awesome for Pinnacle as we continue to build networks across the state with local charter schools surrounding us. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
As well. And then just as we move forward, we're fixing to jump into winter sports, but we're wrapping up our fall sports.
Yes.
Volleyball, I think, is doing well.
Yes. To my knowledge, you know, and it's always exciting to see how they advance. I think what's so cool about those sports, different from swimming, you know, as they place and they have these tournaments, we get the information, they've moved on. They've moved on to compete against this team, and they've moved on. So it's really cool, just kind of waiting on pins and needles to see
what's going to happen
how
next.
are they going to do.
Yeah,
come on,
awesome.
guys, you've got this. So it's neat to see those players in the hallway going to classes and being able to say, hey, good luck tonight.
Wonderful.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Rooting for you, you know. conversations like
and
that.
our varsity
So.
soccer team, I think they're first in the conference, fixing to compete
so,
for
yes.
the conference championship. So we can't wait to bring some more exciting news. Maybe we line this table up with some trophies.
That's right. That'd be awesome. We'll
next month.
polish them off and have them ready.
Next month, as we bring you back some more information from the athletic department. Well, Ms. Barnes,
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this month's episode of Dare to Soar. We look forward to seeing you next month.
Hi, I'm Jamie Henderson, Work-Based Learning Coordinator at Cleveland Community College. Thank you for watching C19, Cleveland County's hometown channel.